So second chunk, my first little chunk got cut off, but I didn't want to repeat it. So let me just finish that the good change is about the smaller chunks that our eye is trained to in the way we're expressing ourselves and the way we're writing in the 21st century. So you err on the side of less than more, but also be careful that in your paragraphs you complete a thought. The last concept, of course, in writing a piece using the old Army adages is tell them what you told them. Be sure that you bring together a conclusion that really wraps it up for me and helps me see why you chose the things you did and how they relate to the opening challenge that you created. But don't repeat the paper and don't just make a list of all the core things. Really take a stand in that final paragraph and give it kind of your power punch of thinking. The other couple of things I wanted to talk about is just things to be careful about when you are expressing yourself. Be careful how you use quotes. The downside of internet writing and blog writing is people use these quotes everywhere. And remember, quotes are to quote what someone said. If you need to emphasize something, use italics. But don't throw a bunch of random quotes into a paper. It's distracting to the reader. And one of the key things about doing good writing is you want the work to flow. You want the reader to stay engaged, and that's very, very important. So as you attack these papers and approach these papers, I think the big one is very interesting in terms of it's a very real problem. And I think it's, I've already used the word juicy, but I think it is very juicy. I think you can be very creative here and use not only citations of your text and other readings, but really draw on your own experience as to how, I mean, this is all about building trust and leadership and vision and drawing people in. So it's a very exciting piece, and we'll draw on a lot of the things that you've read about over the course of the semester. The other piece I wanted to talk about very quickly is writing a team paper. And I encourage you to find someone in the team that you entrust to kind of do the final edit. You're probably already doing this. But remember, one of the big challenges of a team paper is sometimes it can have many voices. So don't be afraid to assign a couple people to write the first draft of the body and then allow someone to come in the end and be your super editor. I think that's, and also it's a good way for you all to learn from one another. If you take the best writer in your group and turn that task over to them, him or her, if these people are willing to do that, you all benefit from seeing how your work is reshaped to the good writer, even getting better. And everybody's pieces elevate. All of your work comes up a notch. And I know that team writing is particularly challenging because it's a very short period of time to do it in. But again, tell the story. Allow a particular voice to come through rather than multiple voices. And in all of this, your independent writing and your team writing, I really like this notion of thinking about the four elements of simplicity. Have I really said this in the simplest way I possibly can? Have I gotten rid of all the extraneous words? Is it clear? Can someone else read it and really follow it? Is it precise? Have I really gotten down to the example that's going to work best? And then importantly, is it graceful? Does it flow from intro to body to conclusion? So I wish you all kinds of great luck on writing these papers, and as usual, send me your cards and letters if you have questions, comments, or thoughts. I look forward to reading them. Thanks.